Yeah, man, real bomba clock and I set the volume 8. This is the music from the my niggas. Yeah, man. Oh, ribby damn, ribby damn. Hey, hey. La 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 la. Human attribute from Black Hood Ray. Hey, hey, hey. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Por soñar soñé que todo cambiaría, por pensar pensé, luchar a sangre fría sin perder la fe, viviendo el día a día, más con sentimiento que marcó mi sinfonía. Darle pan al que no puede comer, darle bendición al que sepa renacer. 3000 errores solemos cometer, pero solo un gran hombre lo sabrá reconocer. Y me di cuenta hoy de tantas cosas, algunas crudas, otras bastante hermosas. Solo más sabios, personas poderosas, no aquellos bastardos que destrozan nuestras prosas. Es la perdición, mala situación de manchar tu corazón por tu mala acción. Dame una razón para darte mi perdón. Siento que tu alma se consume como el humo de este blon. Derramo poesía, arte mensajero que reclamo cada día. Pretendo ser sincero, más comparto mi alegría con todo caballero que mantenga la presión cuando andamos bajo cero. Sentimientos perdidos con calma, malos actos mancharon tu alma. No pide perdón quien dispara el arma, no sabe que un ladrón se bate con el karma. Broken microphone, mystic love sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic love sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. One I can get respect from volume 8. My niggas on volume 8, this is key on the studio respect. Alright, alright, alright. Bad boy kills, criminal of soul and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills, criminal of soul and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills, criminal of soul and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Oh. La 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 la. When I can just smoking from the studio up the on. And when I can just your nigga on the floor. When I live a sound. Oh them, ah. Bye bye rhythm, bye bye sound in
At Vistaprint,
hey, original. Canova City on a production key on. Ribby them, ribby boy. Original from the world. Reggae music warrior them. Ay, yeah man. Representando el sonido callejero, nego. Respect and love, more love. Hey, pure nigga. Respect, bliss. Ya no hay camino que recorra tu pasado, tan solo cicatrices de batallas por ganar. El tiempo dice quién se quedará a tu lado y quién dará la vuelta para nunca regresar. Toda persona tiene su forma de amar, pero pocas con amor y solo queda soñar. Lo que daría por llenar este lugar con el tacto de una flor y la música del mar. Cuánto nada cuesta tanto como tener el cielo entre mis manos y no ver a quién se va. Canto ya se curó mi llanto, doy gracias a la vida por la familia. sonido de alegría en el blog. Ey, tic-tac suena el reloj. Y recuerdo que no debo perder el poco tiempo de ti. Ay, Kion, dispáralo. El resto lo pongo yo. Puro sonido de alegría en el blog. Ey, Station. I call it with a connection. Original reggae music. Kion Studio President. Háblame de amor, pensamiento que no tienes, mujer, y eso solo lo sé yo, que no me diste ni un día de placer. Y pide, muévelo, 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 el sonido en la party, tremendo campeón. Y dice, muévelo, 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 original labón. Y dice, voy navegando por el mundo, dame solo un segundo y te muestro quién soy. El mensaje más profundo, con el papel me fundo y chilla root boy. Caminando por el mundo, dame solo un segundo y te muestro quién soy, boy. Reggae music dance, I roll. Them, call it with zone, call it with them, call it with forever, key on for president, warrior. Original of them, hey, y dice, ¿cómo voy? Navegando por el mundo, dame solo un segundo y te muestro quién soy. El mensaje más profundo, con el papel me fundo y chilla root boy. Caminando por el mundo, dame solo un segundo y te muestro quién soy. El mensaje más profundo de Call with them, original fire, fire music barrier. Que un studio original, them, original. Please.
Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Shalom, people. Hope y'all doing well. I'm actually doing this here at the home front. I'm gonna get this done real quick. I had to, hold on a second. Let me switch this, man. What's going on here? My bad, family. I had to do this today from here because I had a lot of work today, so I got tired, man. I had to come home to sleep. Anyways, excuse me. There's this topic, man, that I talked about yesterday, and YouTube blocked me. They took me off before I was even able to show the class. So what I'm gonna do, I try to show it on this other channel, but I went a little too long, so I'm gonna go to the point because I got some updated info, which is pretty ironic, man, to say the least, about this Vivek Salami. He's a hot topic right now. Anyhow, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys uh, a particular part where it starts off because the topic gets pretty interesting at this point, and um, it'll be about an hour. And like I said, I got some more video to show, so stick around. Shalom to everybody here. Saludos, buenas noches a todos. It's brother Joshua. All right. Again, I'm kind of new for doing this from home, so it's not like my usual space. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's a little getting used to. Anyhow, let's begin because this is actually very interesting here. Let me go here. Hold on, let me take this off. Now I'll go like this. Yeah, let's do that. All right, let's begin.
Our country is being invaded. Our country is being destroyed by very, very stupid people. These are
You see this?
stupid people. We have to get them out. We have.
He just listened to what he said. You Mexicans are stupid people. I'm going to tell you why. You say, "Oh, no, that's you trying to say." No, no, no. The connotation of illegal immigrant or alien, whatever, or wetback, is Mexicans. So listen to this again. Don't ignore this.
Is being invaded. Our country is being destroyed by very, very stupid people. These are stupid people. We have to get them out. We have to take back the White House.
So in the same breath, they don't say he didn't mean the immigrants. He meant the people in the White House. Of course, that's what he supposedly meant, right? So now let's listen to this here. I'm gonna bring you back, and then now I'm gonna show you.
It's everything you wish for. Your site traffic.
Video first. The hypocrisy. Because obviously he's like the Mexicans, these Mexicans, right? So let's listen in into what he says, and I'm gonna show you a video right now. All right. And then we're gonna read a book, and then I should be a couple of videos, and that's it. Let's go.
First up, we're going to preview Wednesday night is the second Republican presidential debate. And one of the stars of the first debate joins us now, somebody who's going to be at the center of the stage, our friend Vivek Ramaswamy, 2024 candidate, co-founder of Strive Asset Management, author of Nations of Victims. I might add, a great entrepreneur in the biotech space. Vivek, welcome back to the show. I want to switch gears away from polls. Okay, I want to leave polls alone for a minute, unless you're dying to talk about polls. What I want to ask you, a couple things. I know you have a new budget plan, and or at least budget thoughts, and I'm going to get to that too. But Vivek, headlines besides this ABC poll, headlines are at the southern border, and the absolute catastrophe going on down there with numbers, that are virtually beyond belief. And I want to get your thoughts on that, because I think in this debate Wednesday night, you and your colleagues and the other candidates will be asked for specifics how to handle the border and how to replace Joe Biden's catastrophic failure.
So, look, I think Biden has been a national disaster, a border crisis of historic proportions that we haven't seen, a triple whammy of rising prices, rising interest rates, and flatline wages that we haven't seen since the Carter era, weaponization of the DOJ to corruption at the highest ranks. There's no doubt about it, Larry, that Biden is that national disaster. But I'm a little bit of a contrarian here. I don't think we're going to win this election just by talking about Joe Biden's failures. I think we have to talk about our own vision about what we're actually going to do to revive this country, how we're going to shut down the administrative state, how we're going to rescind a majority of those unconstitutional federal regulations that act like a wet blanket on the U.S. economy. We're going to shut down moving our military to seal that southern border rather than just complaining about it. Clearly declaring independence from China, making sure that we're not dependent on our enemy for our modern way of life. That is what's going to win us this election, not just criticizing the radical left, which I think we've done a lot of. But that's why the red wave in 2022 never came. We have to stand for a vision of our own. And Larry, I think that's what's a little bit different about me than traditional partisan politicians, is that I'm actually leading us to run to something. And I'm hopeful that's what's going to lead us to success.
Well, of course, I love constructive proposals. Spent a better part of my career on that point. But Vivek, I do want to ask, on the border, you mentioned the military. There's two items that come.
So now they're gonna talk about. Hey, by the way, brothers who are here. So I had this class ready to go, right? And I didn't even start it because apparently YouTube didn't like this thumbnail. They blocked me. Like literally, they asked me. So I can't even do classes for 2 weeks on Bible Chronicles. That's why I'm on Rumble. Okay, that's why. Which I anyways, appealed it. Let's continue.
Which I technically appealed it, and that's why they didn't see any fault in it. Apparently, the algorithm was the one that gave me the strike. Anyway, so we're back online. All right, let's go.
Right. No, anyway, let's get into the topic. Okay, let's talk about the border now. Now let's pay attention. You see, remember, family, it's important. That's why I love history. I love history, man. I love history. I love reading about it, and I'm talking about from the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm so happy that our Father has put that spirit on me to really thoroughly understand or want to understand the historical aspect of what goes on in our lives.
because you get to hear people repeat themselves over and over and over again. And then you see the joke of the joke's on you, sucker. Anyway, let's go.
To mind. Number one, the failure of the Mexican military. Trump persuaded AMLO to put 15,000 troops or 20,000 troops on the border in order to help us with the Remain in Mexico policy. I don't know where you stand on that, but that's one point I want to ask you. And the second point is the matter of deportation. Mr. Trump just spoke in Iowa last week, and he mentioned going back to the 1950s, the so-called Eisenhower Plan, which deported over 1 million illegal immigrants at the time. In your judgment, Vivek, besides Remain in Mexico, should there be a deportation policy?
The answer to that is yes, and I've talked about Eisenhower quite a bit on the campaign trail. If we're a nation founded on the rule of law, we have to stand for the rule of law. And we can't look our kids in the eye and say, you have to follow the law, if the government itself does not follow.
So I also want to bring up a point here. It's excellent time to bring up a point. You cannot be selective when it's convenient. You say, oh, this country is founded on the law, meaning the Constitution of 1776, right? So then you constitutionalists, you guys always run to this Constitution of 1776, which means you want to honor the whole Constitution for its purity, meaning that now whenever we look back at, well, what was my family doing in 1776 when you guys were writing this Constitution? Oh, shoot. Are you telling me, man, my people were getting enslaved by you guys? Oh, and at the same time, they were taking land through head-right programs, right? By bringing slaves across. Yeah, it's another topic. But anyways, let's go.
Follow the law either. So I think the only answer, Larry, is in a humane and as respectful of a manner, deport the family unit back to the country of origin when they are here illegally. I will never break apart families. I'm a pro-family person. But you have to take the family unit and return them back to the country of origin. I support, of course, the Remain in Mexico policy. I support finishing the wall. But I would go further.
So remember the topic Eisenhower. The topic Eisenhower. So the Eisenhower thing, right? I don't know if you guys have heard this. Eisenhower. Watch this real quick. I'm going to show you this real quick. See, it's important to understand history because then you'll know what they're talking about. You'll hear their voice and like, oh, I know what you're saying now. You just don't want to say it. So let's listen to what they're saying. Oh, come on, man.
Country that had a border.
Okay, let's listen to this real quick. And I'm gonna show you something.
Upon my inauguration, I will terminate every open border policy of the Biden administration and commence the largest deportation operation in American history. We have no choice. This is not sustainable. You don't have to know very much to know. I looked at Tucson, Arizona today. Did you see that? Thousands and thousands of people all over. People walk out of their house, they say, what's happened to our beautiful place? But this is in many towns and cities all over. Look at New York City. But you see New York, but you don't see other places so much. And it's happening like that. Much worse, actually, much worse. This is not sustainable. No country can sustain it or financially can sustain it. Nobody could possibly sustain something like this. And they're putting young children into schools who don't speak any English, and they're in school. Nobody is there to teach them. They're sitting in class. They don't understand.
That's a lie, but anyways, let's go.
Understand anything that's going on in the school. It's a horrible situation, and it would have never happened in a year. We had the strongest border in history. Now we have the worst border in the history of the world. There's never been a third world country that had a border like this, ever. There's never been anything like it. We built nearly 500 miles of border wall. They like to say.
Okay, so they didn't build anything. Remember, he keeps saying Eisenhower, right? Eisenhower. Who's this Eisenhower? Who is this Eisenhower? All right, so in case you guys don't know, Eisenhower was the so-called individual that authorized this right here. Okay? This right here.
There's one simple hearing hack.
Sorry. This right here. Come on, man. I don't want, just play the video for God's sakes, bro. Yeah, I'll just play it here. So Eisenhower
Have you tried Wix or
was the president that was behind Operation Wetback. Hold on a second. Yes, that's exactly what they're talking about. Donald Trump and Vivek Salami. They're talking about Operation Wetback. Okay? Eisenhower. And I'm going to read something. Matter of fact, I found a thesis. I found it real interesting because it actually says what I wanted to say. I mean, much more eloquently. And I'm going to read it and then and that's it. I haven't been feeling well, fam. I've been sleeping 2 hours, waking up, sleeping 2 hours, waking up. I've had some thoughts, anyways. It just says I haven't been resting well. But let's go. All right. So let's find out. Remember, they mentioned the biggest operation, Eisenhower. You're right, and I'm an advocate of that. Okay, this is what they're saying, Operation Wetback. So we're going to find out what happens in Operation Wetback.
My name is Miguel Levario. I'm an associate professor of history at Texas Tech University and author of Militarizing the Border When Mexicans Became the Enemy. Between 1944 and 1954, when Operation Wetback went into effect, it was known by some scholars and by the INS as the decade of the wetback, the idea that our borders are being invaded by unauthorized immigrants from Mexico especially. We also have the dawn of the Cold War. The United States was very much aware or felt that its borders were quite porous, needed to be secure to a degree because of the threat of a nuclear attack. I believe it was the FBI who would give out public service announcements on radios telling people to be vigilant of an unassuming migrant crossing the river in a ragtag suit, in a ragtag suitcase, that don't believe that they're not threatening, that they could actually fit an atomic bomb and threaten our livelihood. And these are public service announcements that they would use. So this idea of vigilance, national security, we're definitely on the radar and definitely in the public mindset in the early years of the Cold War. And immigration kind of fell in through that. Border Patrol had started to become more and more formal. They started to become more aggressive in their tactics, setting up roadblocks, doing raids. What we have here is an aggressive and sort of paramilitary approach into deportation and mass deportation, and of course the use of propaganda to address the issue of unauthorized Mexican workers in the United States. Because the Border Patrol agency was so small, they're using local law enforcement. So while they're out there trying to look for undocumented immigrants, what aren't they doing? Their own basic responsibilities of keeping neighborhoods safe, addressing burglaries, murders, whatever it could be. The Operation Wetback was terminated in large part because of cost, in large part because of it just became too taxing on local resources. What we also found out is that regardless of how far you sent them into the interior, within days, sometimes weeks, we're right back in there. It wasn't as successful as the Border Patrol made it out to be, but they had to save face, as it is. And we understand with politics, they didn't solve the issue, obviously, because we've revisited that issue in every decade since the 1920s.
We're going to show this, and this is why I tell you I love history, because you're seeing this repeat itself over and over and over again and again and again. So at what point is it real? It's kind of like, that whole cry wolf, whatever, like that, the wolf is here, and it's a lie. Eventually, you just got to find out that this is all a lie. But hey, you guys that are loving conspiracy theories, Republicans, Democrats, all you voters of the Gringolandias here, you're going to find out it's going to hurt you right in the butt, ducks, what I'm going to show you. Because every time these guys say, like Eisenhower, yeah, the massive deportation, you guys have no idea what you're saying. You have no idea what that entails. Do you understand the fear? Not being able to sleep at night. Millions of people were deported. So-called Mexican Americans born on this side, on this land here, that never left. They were deported because they look like me, like him. That's the operation that they're talking about. Eisenhower. They want to bring that back.
Today, our politicians, which I think incorrectly, but our politicians don't separate immigration with national security, or even drug smuggling or any kind of smuggling of illicit goods. They kind of lump them all together as if they're all the same thing, which is grossly inaccurate.
And there's no better way to show you this than to actually read this, man. Check this out. Let me see if I can get this. No, okay. So we're talking about. That's right. Let me not forget this, okay? Because he said something else too that. Hold on. Let's close this real quick. There it goes right there. Let me close this. Let me close this and this. Oh no, not that. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is from it's a thesis that I found. Pretty interesting. Disposable Mexican. Let me see if I can magnify it. Beautiful. University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, thesis and dissertation. It says Operation Wetbag of 1954. The deportation of undocumented workers in California and Texas. That's just the undocumented, not even considering the actual documented ones, right? So this particular person, I like this. I've read it. I haven't read it all, obviously, but what I read so far was like, you know what? Okay, and it's supported. That it's here. A disposable Mexican Operation Wetbag, 1954. The deportation of undocumented workers in California and Texas. I believe people that write a thesis is because they want to have a doctorate, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I think so. Submitted to the Graduate School of University of Texas Pan American in partial fulfillment of the requirements for the degree of Master Arts. Oh, I think so. A master's. That's right, a master's. I think that's. I'm not college educated, man. 1997. It's signed by Dr. Rocha, Faubion, Adir. As you can see, committee members. So okay, sounds good, right? Again, I'm not saying this is so-called something to glorify. No. I like what she says, and I'm going to read you the highlighted parts because it's going to be in the Operation Wetback in California and political social operations here and illegal immigration. So it's just pertinent parts. Very interesting stuff here. Okay, let's go to the highlighted part. Let me see if I can. No. I'll just start with this. Just to introduce real quick, right? It says here, when they need our work, they call us migrants. After the harvest, we are bums and have to get out. This sentiment, expressed by an unknown Mexican migrant worker, described a common attitude directed towards Mexican undocumented workers. Mexican laborers are often portrayed as the germ that are destroying America. Do we not hear that? 1917, you so-called Mexicans, you need to start remembering. In 1917, your abuelos who were coming from Mexico to work here in America were getting fumigated with those DDTs, yeah, almost every day, right? Because supposedly we carry germs. Although many of these workers are encouraged to migrate into the United States. Okay, so anyways, they blame the Mexicans for everything. Wetbag, that's the first term. First time being used in Eisenhower time. You'll see. Now, chapter 2, illegal immigration and the Bracero program. The very interesting thesis. I'd suggest for you guys to read it. Let's get to the, it's funny. Let me get to this point. Here it goes, all that. Watch this. The illegal migration that followed the Immigration Act of 1917. That is also 1917 gas bath at the border. See, the gas bath riot. This is real stuff. They were fumigating our brothers and sisters. Yeah. This is real. Report of medical inspection of immigrants, beaners, wetbacks. Yeah. This is what they did. As a matter of fact, this is the technique that they use in the so-called Holocaust. And I call it so-called. Look, they would put it in line, and you'd have to cross there every day. They could check you. They'd get all our sisters, our mothers, our abuelas naked, inspect them in their crevices by men. See, kind of like the same way they did it to the so-called Asians. Look, this is DDT. This is DDT. That's what kills the cucarachas in Mexico. Very popular. DDT. Watch this. DDT fumigar. It was like this right here. Look at that. Insect killer. Man, this thing DDT fumigar pump. What is it? A pump? We used to have one of these. No, man, not that. Oh, like that. Here it goes like that. It's like this. Bam. I say DDT and goes. You see a cockroach, man, you spray that thing. Zancudos también. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, in the air, in the sky, in the air. Huh? Hey, for this for real, man. That's and you know they would spray this on. There you go. Look, it's not a joke. Look. And you so-called Mexicans, you guys are forgetting this, and you're gonna be involved politically. These subliminal messages, they're called dog whistles. This is dog whistle. Eisenhower. Oh, I'm gonna use the Eisenhower approach. Oh, you mean you're going to wet operation wetback us again? You're gonna deport me and my wife and my kids because we look Mexicans? And you know, it's funny because this doesn't happen to no other nation in the world. Anyways, so let's continue. Very interesting, but I'm going to get to the point. Here we go. On January 6, 1931, the Secretary of Labor, William N. Doak, asked Congress to appropriate funds for the immediate deportation of over 400,000 illegal aliens residing in the country. This is in 1931. Yeah, hey, that's around the years I was born, bro. Thank you, sir. They used to be mounted on pickup trucks and spray the neighborhood. Yeah. Oh man. Whoa. Yeah, bro. That's wow. You know what? I believe that, and that's how they were doing it to your aliens. They were doing that to us too. Watch this, and that's because you know what? The DDT, el DDT, it has a chemical, a cancerous chemical in it. Man, I have a book called The War Against Puerto Rico or something like that. It's an interesting book. Anyways, it says in the series of, and let's watch this. So an immediate deportation of over 400,000 illegal aliens residing in the country. Is this in 1931? They're talking about it still. It says in the series of repatriation and deportation drives and staged throughout the Great Depression, over 500,000 Mexicans and American citizens of Mexican descent were aggressively Vivek, both you, Vivek, and Donald Trump, both of your parents are not from this country. Oh, my dear Jesus. Hold on a second. Vivek, it's for your mama. It's for your daddy. Hey, Trump. Shut your face, hypocritical people. You're a hypocritical nation of people. The nerve of you. Mexican citizens of Mexican descent were aggressively and inhumanely uprooted and cast out of a nation that only years earlier had encouraged them to cross the border. Typical, huh? But no, let's use Eisenhower. let's use the famous Eisenhower law. Let's continue. And then we're going to be done. Not going to take too long. Yeah, I don't care anyways. Not like you care. Chapter 3. The controversy surrounding the presence of the undocumented workers in the U.S. emerged from two groups, which were distinct motivations. Watch this. Those who oppose the illegal entry of Mexican laborers. Republicans, generally represented social welfare organizations. They consume all the medical costs. Labor unions, they take our jobs. Mexican American organizations, you haters. Some of you guys who you call yourselves, and listen, I know you're gonna hurt your butt, but that whole thought of Chicano, all you're doing is you basically calling yourself like a Negro, because that's what the white man used against y'all. And the reality is, Mexicano. You just want to take the MA. You're always if you're a Mexican, you're gonna always be Mexican. I don't know why you guys use that Chicano stuff. Honestly, it's to me it makes no sense. It's a white man title that gave. I know you guys are saying historically. No, I've done my homework. It's white man gave it to you. And you know the funny part is that the brown beret came out of Chicago. That's another story. Anyways, it says here, small farmers and religious groups who believe that the undocumented Mexican workers was a threat to social, political, and economic stability of the country. This is in the 1950s. We're seeing this in 1930, 1940, 1950. Watch this. In 1950, President Truman created the President's Commission on Migratory Labor in order to thoroughly investigate the problem and questions pertaining to migratory labor involved American agriculture. After years of struggling for validation, the argument of anti-wetback organizations were finally given credence. You see that? The arguments of anti-wetback organizations were finally given credence. The Commission on Migratory Labor found that the Bracero program had not decreased illegal immigration, but encouraged influx. They contributed to a decrease in wages and an increase in unemployment on wetbacks, and suspected their presence attributed to the neglect of domestic migratory work. In addition, undocumented workers were viewed as the pawns of agricultural interest groups who did nothing to protect them from the mistreatment and abuse. You know, I find that very interesting because these people here, these farmers that get incentives, subsidized money, are the same ones that hired them. And they're the last people they keep them out. You don't see nobody, none of them fighting for, oh yeah, we need migrant workers, but you ain't fighting. You're not using your muscle for the people that work. No, you use them and you abuse them and you're done. Trump, yeah, he's German. It's funny, Vivek. Gotcha, bitch. Your parents are from India. Gotcha, bitch. And nobody appreciates the smell of the food they carry. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to get personal. That's stupid. Anyways, it says here, members of the President's Commission have visited El Paso Valley, the Rio Grande Valley, and the Imperial Valley, which were areas with the highest concentration of, quote-unquote, illegals. Damn beaners. A member who was horrified with these conditions stated, I have seen with my own eyes people living in these shacks and sheds, getting their water to use, drink, and cook without the irrigation ditches. No type of sanitary facilities, bathing, or toiletry facilities of any kind within sight. They lived in shacks that I wouldn't put a horse in. As you can see, before that, we read how these agriculturists, they didn't give a damn about our people. They need you, but then they don't. Opponents ridicule the commission's reports and accuse it of lacking justifiable evidence. The three government agencies most directly involved in the wetback situation, watch this, the Department of Labor, the State Department, and the Department of Justice, all agreed with the commission that action was imperative, but would not commit themselves to any definite measures. Officials in the State Department were concerned with the quote-unquote wetback situation, particularly, meaning you Mexicans, because of the negative effect it had on U.S. and Mexico relations. Mexico blamed the U.S. growers for encouraging the illegal exodus of Mexican citizens and wanted the federal government to rectify the situation. However, Gringolandia loves to do this. The State Department was not enthusiastic about ending the Bracero program, even though they agreed that it was not providing an effective deterrent to illegal immigration. You see that? So they use you. It's kind of like those guys that are in the closet. You know what I'm saying? Like they have sex with men. You know, you've seen it in their movies, right? They have sex with men, but then they hurt them. Like they hate them. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like you need them, but you hate them. It's weird. Now the reason I'm saying this because I was watching Jeffrey Dahmer. It's like he needed them, but he hated them. There was a disgusting aspect of what he was. Anyway, sorry, man. Just watching shows, you know. Officials in labor departments also agreed with Commission's report, but would not offer such solutions. On the other hand, the Justice Department, meaning people that make these laws, judicial department, you know, like the judicial law, right? Like the judges, not the criminal law, the judicial law, the ones that really make these laws happen, which supervise the United States Immigration and Naturalization Service, agreed that action was needed, but realized they did not possess the strength to enforce strict measures. Attorney General J. Howard McGraw did not wish to condone employers for... See, here he goes. Attorney General Howard McGraw did not wish to condone employers for encouraging the illegal immigration of their employees and disagreed with any penalty legislation that would hold them accountable. It's still happening today. The double standard of you guys. Let me see that. Those millions recently crossing the border are both from Central and South country, not Mexicans. If you review the immigration law, they killing them. Yeah, I know that. But that's why I said when you say illegal immigrants or illegal aliens, the connotation is Mexican. So I'm just slapping everybody around because that's technically what they say. They don't isolate the Venezuelans. They don't say Salvadoreños. They say illegal aliens. The connotation is Mexican. I know that the majority are from Central. If you watched from the beginning, you would see that was my initial mentioning. And yes, Mexicans are still reclicking and return, but not as... Yeah, I know. I just, the common sense Republican concept is if you're an illegal alien, you're Mexican. You could be Salvadoreño, you could... You're Mexican. Anyway, look, check this out. So he's not holding the companies accountable. McGraw blames Mexico's failing economy for the increase of illegal immigration. See, again, blaming them for fentanyl, blaming them for jobs being taken, blaming them for a failed economy, and stated that the invasion, don't we hear this often? This is in 1950. Would continue regardless of whether the commission report became administrative policy or not. Check this out. The American public tended to view the wetback situation, quote unquote, wetback, as an isolated problem confined to the southwest border area. Watch this. It was not until 1951 that magazines and newspapers, this is where you talk about Khazarians, they're the ones that power the media. They also had their 2 cents into it, like this guy here. This bastard right here. I didn't get it away from me. This bastard right here. This douchebag. This son of a... This mofo. This guy right here, this a Khazarian so-called Jew, which is I don't believe you guys are. I think you guys are the devil of the Bible. He passed a law to separate children from their parents, and this guy was nuts. Look, take a picture of that. Okay, just take a snapshot of that one. Take a snapshot of that one. Snapshot of that one. Snapshot of that one. Snapshot of that one. That one. That one. That one. And that one. That right there. He was having a conversation with somebody. And they're like, this guy's really crazy. Supposedly, so-called the Jewish people who supposedly went through the Holocaust, supposedly, are the ones passing laws to treat us like in a horrendous manner. The guy is a lunatic. Check this. It was not until 1951 that the magazines and newspapers began displaying the interest in the wetback, quote unquote, wetback, and the impact they were having on American society. Virtually overnight, meaning like that. The American people became informed about the problem plaguing the Southwest and how these problems would soon affect all Americans. You see this, family? Are we not seeing this often? Repetitive? Increasing crime rates. Watch this. Okay. Groups such as the American GI Forum, the American Federation of Labor, and the American media, Jewish-owned, fake Jew, Khazarians, focus on the negative effects of the undocumented worker and charge illegal immigrants, okay? So we're always the problem, with increasing crime rate. You see this? Are we not saying, aren't they saying the cartels? The cartels, we need to go over there because the cartels. Narcotic use. They're the ones giving us fentanyl. Fentanyl. Oh, it's coke, heroin, fentanyl. It's because it's the Mexicans. Welfare costs. You see, oh, now we're bringing people here and the economy is going to be destroyed. And spreading disease. 1917, typhus. Lice. The Bracero program. Wetbacks were depicted as corrupt. What did Donald Trump say? What did he say? He said it's the Mexicans are murderers. Hold on a second. Donald. Watch this. Here goes right here.
Our country is in serious trouble. When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity. U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak.
See? Wetbacks are depicted as corrupt and sinister individuals who infiltrated the border with the sole purpose of robbing decent, hardworking white people. You decent, hardworking white people. Americans are their jobs. Taking my job. Damn Bader, taking my job. Funny part is they already have legal papers and they're still living on shelters. I know, huh? Check this out. These nativists, the so-called ones that call themselves Americans. You guys are not Americans. Okay? I'm never going to call you that. I'm going to call you Anglos, Europeans. And for black folks, I'm going to call you guys Africans, West Africans, because you're not of America. Let me see what you're saying. Just that all across our borders and many staying here, even white USA people that work remotely and not paying taxes, they complain to speak English in their community. I know, dude. I know. Hey, no. Los Venezolanos. Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. The nativists dedicated themselves to gathering as much information as possible concerning problems. Oh, European settlers. Yeah. African settlers and European settlers. I'm not going to call you guys Americans. You're not of America. You are European settlers. You're a European illegal immigrants, illegal aliens. European illegal aliens and African illegal aliens. Specifically West Africans. Themselves, that's it, dedicated themselves to gather as much information as possible concerning problems attributed to the wetback, quote unquote, influx. Their cause studies were used to reinforce their argument that penalty legislation and immigration restraints were crucial. The most vocal in 1951, the National Farm Labor Union complained to the Department of Labor that commercial growers were using laborers imported from Mexico. Continue. The group with the most direct connection to illegal immigrants was the Mexican American community. You see that? What is it called? Reino? That's what I meant, bro. The group with the most direct connection or connotation to illegal immigrant or wetback or beaner or spick. Well, Puerto Ricans, but that's mostly in the East Coast. Was the Mexican American community or Mexicans. Americans of Mexican descent generally supported stricter immigration restrictions because the presence of undocumented workers had led to the depressed wages and unemployment. No, it's called stupid assimilation. I want to be like the other nation. That's what it is. But many were torn by this issue. Mexican Americans recognized the illegals, quote unquote, were being exploited and abused by employers who viewed their access to them as a profound capitalistic right to cheap labor. Yeah. That's kind of what's going on in America. You guys don't build anything anymore. And you're wondering why. Joining Mexican Americans, organizations representing minority groups frequently employed as migratory workers express their support for migration restraints. Watch this. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, became concerned when both quote unquote braceros, meaning illegal aliens, right? Or wetbacks, they just didn't want to say it, and undocumented workers were traveling into states that generally employed black migrant laborers. The NAACP blamed the importation of Mexican nationals. Aren't they not doing that now? Do you not see black people now going and voting for, I'm going to vote for Trump now. Mexican nationals for the increase of unemployment among black field workers in the South. Well, I mean, let me just say something. Y'all cannot work Mexicans or Hispanics. If they get to work the field, you can't work them. Cannot outwork them, which is what happens. They just saw that you guys don't producing. Sorry, but the hardest workers in the world are so-called Mexicans. That's a fact.
Wait a minute.
I'm not lying. Statistically, it's true. In an article in the New Republic, George Stitt, a black field worker living in Arkansas, explained how the wetback, quote-unquote, situation affected him. You see that? The importation of Mexican nationals did not begin until 1949. Sure. I like how they separate us, this part here, with the natives. Other groups included the Congress of American Indians, meaning the $5 ones, who testified before the Congressional Committee on Agriculture regarding the detrimental effects of quote-unquote illegal immigrants was having on the 33,000 Native American migratory workers in the United States. Wow. Yeah. This is a very interesting thesis. Here it goes. I'm going to post it here. Y'all can read it. Yeah, I'm on Rumble too. I can read it. Now I'm going to show you this real quick, and then we're going to be done. Because you know what? These guys, man, they're getting away with a lot of stupid talk. And
they don't teach investing in school. And I think that's one of the...
Watch this real quick. A couple of videos we're going to talk right now. All right, let's go.
People who really...
That's 2 commercials, man. Damn it. You see what I mean, fam? You see what I'm saying? I'm not lying. Oh, yeah, we are the most attacked in this country. For sure. For sure. Listen to this, okay? A couple of idiots. But then I'm going to prove a point. Because, Vic, I haven't forgotten about you, Salami. I haven't forgotten about you, Salami. Okay? So let's listen in.
Video shows train filled with migrants heading toward U.S. southern border from Mexico.
It's not people. It's single men. Let's be clear. It's single, military-age males. People need to wake up, dude. We are under attack. We are being invaded. Most Americans...
Invasion, quote-unquote invasion, that's this thesis that I was talking about from 1930, 1940, 1950. It's still going on, right? Okay. But then now listen to what he says. All right? This says us Mexicans or Hispanics. But you don't understand Mexican. Y'all know what I mean. If you're Venezolano, whatever, Nicaragüense, Hondureño, you come, hey, brother, I'm talking to you too. But you know, they call us Mexicans, bro. So it is what it is. All right, let's go.
Americans are not equipped to deal with what's happening here.
No.
Like, you're not going to be able to walk down the street with your wife. You're not going to be able to take your kids to places because these motherfuckers are going to do what they've been doing over in Europe, which is attacking people, taking their shit, living in their homes. This is a joy.
You hear this? So now we're going to come up with... Oh, this is funny. Hold on. Let's continue.
George Soros funded invasion to destroy Western culture. That is not a conspiracy theory, and something needs to be done, or we are going to lose our country forever.
Oh, whoa. There's so much power behind the base, man. Shut your face, fool. Let me show you something real quick. I mean, they say that you guys don't believe in, that's not conspiracy theory. Okay. I'm almost done. Let's go.
Administrative state is anti-constitutional. It's the rule of the few for their own sakes. A distinct and insular class of people, rather than a trained elite, corrupt and distant from the people whom they rule. The administrative state is openly hostile to the Constitution. It allows for myriad methods of policymaking. In reality, at the end of the day, it represents a return to pre-constitutional government. The administrative state today is, rather than the aristocracy that the progressives hoped it would be, simply an oligarchy. It's the rule of the few for their own sakes. A distinct and insular class of people, rather than a trained elite, corrupt and distant from the people whom they rule. They're supported by a coterie of clientele groups who depend upon the modern administrative state for privileges and benefits. The average person in this system is systematically and fundamentally disenfranchised. Policy is not made for his benefit, and he is largely unable to control the machinery of the state. In sum, the administrative state is the antithesis of constitutional government and cannot even live up to the expectations of its progressive founders. The administrative state intrudes upon even the minutest aspects of people's lives. The federal government dictates the amount of water that you can have in your washing machine and in your dishwasher. The federal government dictates the content of the light bulbs that light up your house in the evening. They dictate the composition of the spouts on the gas can that you use to fill your lawnmower. They've determined that the ordinary gas can spout allows for too many fumes to escape, and so instead they created a system which is all but impossible for the ordinary person to use and probably causes more spills anyway. The federal government...
That's my brother, man. I love that.
Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch.
That's why I still, hey, you know what, man? That's when I was saying that I was waking up, sleeping 2 hours, going to sleep, sleeping 2 hours. It's because of this class. Like it was like I know what I believe in, man. The Most High, our Father, he was like trying to wake me up. Do the class. I was like, man, I really had a lot of work this week, fam. Thank God. Hey, Solomé, I really appreciate that consejo you gave me, bro. You're always working, man. I never forgot that advice, man. That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. Let me read this. Their time is coming to the end, so they want to focus on their only card to play. The imperialist war of old conquer doctrine, but even then they are pooped in options. Yep. Well, yeah, they're actually still going by the whole Monroe doctrine. They're just not saying it. And let's finish this up. This is funny to me. Like these guys, the imperialist, the Constitution was written because I'm gonna show you who wrote the Constitution, dummy. And then you guys keep talking about, don't talk about the past, forget about 1492, but the Constitution. Now, man, that's history. So when you reflect on the Constitution, shouldn't I reflect on people that were around that time that were my gente? What were we doing? Sure as hell wasn't beneficial to us. Let's go.
Dictates to the manufacturers of step ladders the angle at which the ladder must be placed when they test it for the sake of determining its weight rating. Meanwhile, we might note, the administrative state seems to be sincerely uninterested in performing the tasks that our founding fathers expected legitimate government to perform.
Remember, our founding fathers, they wanted this. Okay. Let me speed it up because this guy talks too slow for me. Talk too slow, bro. Speed it up, bro. Yeah, just getting slaughtered, man. Like this. Bruh. Oh, no, not that one. Hold on a second. Yeah, and when the Most High allows it and the Messiah returns, he's gonna say this to them for using his word and all that.
Keep my name out your mouth.
That's for trying to tell people that you the people of the book. All these guys, right? These are their founding fathers. Okay, check it out.
Major cities have chronic amounts of unsolved murders, which they never seem to bother to get to in many cases. The city of Detroit discovered several years ago a backlog of thousands of unprocessed rape kits that took more than a decade to finish. The mayor of Portland, Oregon seems perfectly content to allow Antifa to take over the streets of the city and to enforce the laws themselves. And Portland is one of a number of examples of progressive cities on the West Coast which also seem perfectly content to allow their cities to become mountains of drugs and human excrement. At the national level, our government, or at least much of our government, seems to be deeply unconcerned for maintaining our territorial integrity in the face of thousands, if not millions, of illegal immigrants coming into the country, and thus
See what I mean? So, okay. So now, before I go, I'm going to show you this real quick. Let me show you something now. All right. Remember, they're so-called. They're very proud of their. They're very proud. They're very proud of. Oh yeah. Our founding fathers. Our founding fathers. Okay, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. This goes to you Republicans, and you funny Democrats. You guys are funny too. Both of you guys are funny. I mean, a Republican. Listen, I would even ask to debate you. I would debate a Republican. But see, you got to be ready though, because I'm gonna bring some scriptures to this whole thing. So if you want to debate me, you better know what you're talking about on a political level and on the actual scriptural level. I'm down, but you guys won't. So anyways, so you guys, conspiracy theory, like the kids are being stolen and all. Now you don't care about our kids, okay? Stop saying, because these kids getting kidnapped. You don't care. You don't care about our kids at all. Don't be a hypocrite. You sound even more stupid. But anyways, these are your founding fathers. This is the doctrine you believe in. See, it was written from the get-go. You see, what you guys are doing, Republicans, all of you guys, right? Your founding fathers were nothing more and nothing less but these people. Let's go.
Legend of the Craft, Legend of the Temple.
My name on the Masonic and the Order of the Eastern Star, the Baphomet there. Photo of George Washington's sash worn in the Revolutionary War at the time he resigned his commission in 1783. Oh boy. The building of Solomon's Temple. Oh look, this is George Washington's Masonic apron. Oh, look at that, George Washington. Okay. Oop, Thomas Jefferson. James Madison, check it out. James Monroe. Andrew Jackson.
Here you have Masonic presidents of our country. Masonic presidents. I'll zoom in here so you can read a little bit better. George Washington, Mason. Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, Andrew Jackson, James Knox Polk, James Buchanan, Andrew Johnson, James Garfield, William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Warren Gamaliel Harding, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, Gerald Ford, the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man. There you have George Washington with a nice all-seeing eye radiating down over the White House. Nice imagery there. The white apron there is made of lamb's wool, and it symbolizes the veil that veils the Holy of Holies from the God of Masonry, which is right directly behind the veil. Excuse me there, I have to point there. That's the God of Masonry. You see the square, you see the compass, this thing here, right there, the G in the middle, does not stand for God. It does not stand for geometry. It stands for generativity. It is a sex symbol. Okay?
Damn! Whoa! Man, oh man! Yeah. But, they're going to say, that's not true. That's not true. They wrote the Constitution. Your Constitution. The same law when you had the 13 colonies, which Florida wasn't part of, in case you guys forgot. You forget about all that history. When you were in the 13 colonies, you guys forget about all that history from that point, from that land to the east, to the west. You guys don't study that at all. I'm not sure why. Now, let me finish this with this doofus here, okay? He's talking about Mexicans, right? Watch what he called us to. called us dogs. Let me see. Cheatham foresaw their future of Civil War II in America. All the real Americans they victimized will demand receipts. They have to pay their granddaddy crimes go against our tribal nations. That's right.
Gotcha, bitch.
So now let's listen into this guy. Look what he calls us. He calls us dogs. Basically, he compared us to a dog. That's what he did.
Further than Trump did on those measures, Larry. I think we have a legitimate, legal, ethically, and morally justifiable use case for the U.S. military to seal that southern border. Because right now, those cartels have financed tunnels underneath that wall. So the wall was a good start, but it's not enough. And I think that that's perfectly appropriate to use our own military to secure our own border against an invasion of both drugs and illegal armed gunmen at our own southern border. And that's how I'll lead as Commander-in-Chief.
It's an interesting point that you make here, and an important point. Some people, Vivek, have said okay, let's use the U.S. military to go after the cartels, the Mexican drug cartels, that many people believe are actually running the border. Okay. It sounds like you would like to go further than that. Could you just widen that? Tell us more about the use of the U.S. military down the border.
Over the past 6 months.
And by the way, this guy here, he's Russian or he's something, Ukrainian. You can tell by his accent he's not from here, but they work real hard to hide that accent. I pay attention, believe me. This guy too. I'm telling you, man. You can hear his hey, how about you, my friend? How was your political debate today? He grew up hearing that. So he works real hard to hide that. Anyways, that's not the point. Let's go.
So the first step how I'm going to deal with this is place the military to seal the holes on the southern border, especially those areas that are not covered by the wall already. And then I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to have a phone call with Claudia Sheinbaum or whoever it is that wins the next Mexican presidential election. I'm grateful that AMLO is going to be out. Mexico has an election in 2024. Whether it's Sheinbaum or somebody else who wins that election, I'm going to reset the relationship and say, listen up, for a tiny fraction, and it will be a tiny fraction of what we have already spent in Ukraine, we can help you, Mexico, regain your sovereignty from the Mexican drug cartels who are spilling over into our own homeland here. But if you don't do it, then we will come in and get the job done ourselves. Because the fact of the matter is, it's like if you have a neighbor who has a dog that comes over to your yard and keeps biting your family members repeatedly. If they keep repeatedly doing that, at some point you can take a shotgun and shoot that dog. That's legitimate, legal, morally, ethically justified. And I think the same thing applies to a country to our south that has legitimate, legal cartels who are spilling over.
Let's pay close attention to this. He just compared us to a dog. Now, I don't live around neighbors with the dog that is constantly biting my family. The first time it would be taken care of. I don't know why it would happen all over again. But remember, it's dog whistle. They're talking dogs. What do dogs have? They're animals. They have fleas. They got disease. You know what I mean? They're not human. They're subhuman. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Into our own homeland here. But if you don't do it, then
our own get your ass back to India, man. Shut up.
Then we will come in and get the job done ourselves. Because the fact of the matter is, it's like if you have a neighbor who has a dog that comes over to your yard and keeps biting your family members repeatedly. If they keep repeatedly doing that, at some point you can take a shotgun and shoot that dog. That's legitimate, legal, morally.
All right, so I'm almost done. So, so you know they're like saying these Mexicans, huh? These Mexicans. Well, howdy doody. Well, howdy doody right here, huh? I thought it was just Mexicans. No, it's not. It's people that are just like you. Your people. Your people are crossing the border. Your people are crossing the border. You people from India are crossing the border, and you got a Vivek Salami. The nerve of him. The nerve of him. The nerve of him. Look, let's listen in. All right, let's go.
Punjabi.
Where?
Punjabi only.
Where are you going? New York, California. Where are you going?
California.
California? Where are you from?
California.
Where are you from?
India.
You're India?
India.
And you?
India.
Where are you going?
India.
California.
California. You?
California.
Where are you from?
India.
You? Where are you from?
India.
Where are you going?
California.
You?
India. Going to New York.
Where are you going? Where are you from? India?
New York.
You?
India, New York.
You?
India, New York.
You?
India, California.
You?
California.
Where? You?
India, California.
You?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
India.
Where?
Punjabi.
Where?
Punjabi only.
Where are you going? New York, California. Where are you going?
California.
California? Where are you from?
California.
Where are you from?
India.
You're India? And you?
India. India.
Where are you going?
California.
California, you? Where are you from?
India.
You? Where are you from?
India.
Where are you going?
California.
You?
India. Going to New York.
Where are you going? Where are you from? India?
New York.
You?
India, New York.
You?
India, New York.
You?
India, California.
You?
California.
Where? You?
India, California.
You?
Oh my dear Jesus. Who are you people, man? Like,
Bangladesh.
here goes another one. Here goes another one.
Where are you going?
New York.
You?
Bangladesh.
Look, there's more.
Jersey?
Hey, wait a minute. I thought it was just Mexicans, bro. Look at this. There's more of these guys.
You?
Bangladesh.
Where are you going?
New York.
You?
Bangladesh.
Where are you going?
Georgia.
You?
Bangladesh.
Where are you going?
Georgia.
You?
New York.
New York? Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Africa,
like,
Haiti, where are you
he's
from?
like, I'm not answering you, fool. Shut up. Hell no. At least these guys have a little bit more sense. Those guys from India, like, I'm from India and I'm going to New York. It's because Vivek said I could come over. Oh, wow. Come on, man. You can't play games with me, bro. Y'all are stupid. What do you think I am? Stupid? Here, I'm going to show you something real quick. Let's have a little bit of fun. Because I'm done. Watch what this guy does, right? Check this out. So look what he says. Look what he says. Hey, African illegal immigrants. Check this out. What's gonna happen to you now?
And we will immediately stop all of the pillaging and theft. Very simply, if you rob a store, you can fully expect to be shot as you are leaving that store. Shot. Shot. If you rob a store, you can
I gotta record this, man. It's gotta be one of my recordings.
fully expect to be shot as you are leaving that store. To be shot as you are leaving that store. Expect to be shot as you are leaving that store. Shot. That store. Shot.
That's the one right there. Man, that's funny. But now, so let's remind you guys how they handle things, right? If you don't listen, let me just remind you how they handle it here. Gringolandia, man, they just, you know what I mean? They just love it. Hey, you don't, if you don't abide by the law, remember he said, law-abiding citizens, if you're U.S. citizens and you obey by the law, then I guess you still are, right? Check it out. Man, that's fun. Hey, that's a good movie. Good morning, Vietnam. That was funny. That was funny. So now let's remind you guys. Hey, remember they're talking about, oh yeah, you know what I mean? The conspiracy theories and our forefathers wrote the Constitution. No, they wrote it for the whole purpose of supremacy. You guys are already in the so-called one world order, dummies. You just never knew that you were in the Matrix. Look, even your own brother says it.
For the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. The order and affairs. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. To build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Yo. Comentando. ¿Qué dicen? Sí. ¿Qué cuentan? Ya. Escúchame. Ya. Los medios cuentan que si hay libertad de prensa, la mordaza es cosa escasa y todos dicen lo que piensan. Y esa sutil es impresa y repetida diariamente tiene contenta tu mente con yo soy combate y fiesta. Presta el control, Tarantino no es tan gore como los crímenes de amor que a toda hora se nos muestra. Pues tal vez la estrategia impuesta, pánico en el público y manejarás el cuestapal. Político en vez de patrullas en vez de camilla para un hospital. Como si esa mierda de tombo no diera seguridad. No será casualidad que el otro dueño del canal sea el otro sobrino pero bueno de un primo hermano pariente papá. Si esa nostalgia no es noticia, su codicia se evidencia. Propicia violencia y plástico, panémica, belleza. Fútbol, patriotismo, falso culo, vasos de cerveza. Pele cáncer pa' tu mesa y el domingo en misa pesa. Sobre su cabeza pesa el atraso mental del pueblo. Oposición vendió trasero, dictador, grupo Romero. Pero se confundieron acá, la palabra es cruda. Autoeducación en camino se afloja la lucha a través de cultura. Ven como genera de uno, tal vez otro loco se suma. Ya saben cortina de humo que explota la mina que mata la cuna. Primo, vengo que trate la fruna, no una pura canción de aventura. Así no censura, emite basura, no le conviene que sepa verdura. Hay extorsiones, violaciones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en filis para que vivan en la fantasía algún día cambiará. Hay extorsiones, robo, violaciones, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en filis para que vivan en la fantasía algún día cambiará.
Sensacionalismo, amigo eterno de la prensa, el mismo que forjó al humano sumiso,
callado y muestra.
En el noticiero, en el artículo del diario, la vida de una bebé que poco invierte.
Al vecindario
sirven como fieles feligreses, a oscuro intereses, mienten todo el día, crían, crean solo estupideces. La historia afirma, indica que siempre negaron información alternativa que todo pueblo merece. A cada instante pareciera su labor asesinar una memoria colectiva que hace una nación, con una prensa cómplice que juega con humor, desconociendo ese dolor que nos dejó ese dictador. Cortina de humo es su mejor función, para apartarte de la fuente harán de todo, pues miró hoy como venderte el culo de Sharon Stone, cagándose en tu derecho a la objetiva información. El narco, el almirante, el presidente, el congresista, algún ministro, algún delegado, de seguro es el patrón de ese periódico morboso y amarillo que al leerlo 2 minutos te vuelve en un show. Los medios son culpables, responsables de toda propaganda basura que te ofrece la TV. Pues será mejor que se autoeduque, pues muestre porque el comercio de los medios te carcome hasta las 100.
Hay violaciones, extorsiones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis para que vivan en la fantasía algún día cambiará. Hay extorsiones, violaciones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis para que vivan en la fantasía algún día cambiará. Que algún día cambiará. Que algún día cambiará. CPF.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.